week of Life Weekly. Today I have with us on the call, I have Michael Matlock. He's our Regional Vice President of Sales from MetLife. Good morning, Michael. How are you doing today?
Outstanding. How you doing?
Doing great. Doing great.
Good.
It's very cloudy here today, kind of foggy. So how's it down there in your neck of the woods?
Omaha, Nebraska is the same way. They're threatening to have sun, but I haven't seen it yet. So
let the threat begin.
That's right.
Well, go ahead and kind of tell us what you're going to be talking to us about today.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Kathy. And thanks again to Premier for the opportunity to do this. I just wanted to hop on and kind of talk about MetLife and some things that we've had real exciting lately. We've had, for those who have experience with MetLife in the past, we've made a lot of changes in the last year and a half. We moved everything to Charlotte, North Carolina. Being the largest life insurance company in the world, that's a big deal because we shut down a lot of offices, and moved everyone to Charlotte, which gives us a real good foothold for having a central location to work with customers, and it's a one-stop shop. We no longer have to hop around all over the country to get things done. We can do everything right there. And the program I'm really excited about is nothing new, but seems to be really kind of stepping up this year is our external term conversion program.
Cool.
That's a program where a lot of companies and carriers have conversion options within their own products. If I look at the number one product sold in the industry, it's term insurance. And I own it. A lot of folks own it because it's inexpensive. It's a great short-term need, and we sell a lot of term insurance. We have great conversion options within our term insurance. Unfortunately, not everyone does the same way we do. There's some great carriers that have great conversion options, but some carriers, quite honestly, have decided they really want to focus on term only, which is great. I mean, they do term amazing. So we have an external term conversion program where folks can take an existing term policy with another carrier. We have a piece on that, and the folks at Premier have that with 40-plus carriers on that list. And if someone has a term policy with any one of those carriers, and they fall within the parameters, it's $1 million or less, under age 65, and the policy is 5 years old or newer, which encompasses a lot of policies, they can convert to any one of our permanent products with no underwriting. And we don't just price certain products to fit that conversion option. It's whether it's whole life or variable or UL or second to die UL, you pick the product, they can convert to it with no underwriting. So we've seen a huge influx of business in the last 6 months, but for me personally, with some advisors I've worked with in the last 60 days, we've seen a lot of success using that program.
So let me get this straight. So if I got a carrier, someone's got a life insurance policy out there, they did a 20-year term, got a standard, they can come to you for more insurance, identical to identical, let's say $1 million to $1 million.
Yep.
Explain how that works again. So they'd get a standard?
They would get a standard. So let's say someone has a 20-year term, $1 million policy with Banner Life, and they decide that they want to now buy permanent insurance. And they come to us and say, we want to convert our term from Banner to permanent with MetLife. And standard to standard, preferred to preferred. Whatever their rate class is, we will take them up to the $1 million. Now, anything over $1 million would have to be underwritten, but anything $1 million or less, we will take rate class to rate class with no underwriting.
So just extra paperwork, correct?
Yep, just a couple of pieces of paperwork to fill out, and that's it. And I would tell you, where I've seen the biggest success in that is most people buy term insurance because of the premium. I understand it's inexpensive, and they don't buy permanent because it's really expensive. Well, if someone buys a 10-year or 20-year term policy, whether it's with MetLife or anyone else, and they're 5 years into it, they know that they're on the clock. I mean, actuarially, they're not going to pass away in that term period. That's why less than 2% of term policies ever pay a death benefit. So they know I'm 5 years into a 10-year term or a 20-year term. Well, what's going to happen when that's up? Now I've got to buy another term policy that's more expensive. So they say, okay, maybe I'm in a different financial situation, a different commitment situation, or Unfortunately, sometimes they're in a different health situation, and they know they're not going to be able to get an underwriting the way they want when that term period expires with any carrier. So they come to MetLife and say, I've decided I want to buy your, for example, our Provider UL product, which is our least expensive product, and it's guaranteed to age 95. Actuarially, they're not going to make it to 95, so they understand that, and they can convert it. And again, I've had a lot of advisors recently go out, because I just posed the question to them. I said, do you have a group of clients that you've written term insurance with in the last 5 years? And if so, just compare some numbers on what it would cost them now to buy permanent insurance or to buy new term insurance in 5, 10, 15 years.
Wow.
And
that's pretty cool. I can see that working.
And the other part, and you never want to just play devil's advocate on this, but it's almost playing defense with clients, because as one advisor told me this, he was smarter than I. He said, I'm doing this because I constantly have other agents knocking on my clients' doors trying to sell them insurance. And I don't want to hope they keep this term insurance for the next 15 years so I can try to, put them in another product. I'd rather just lock them in now on something permanent, because then they're committed to me and I'm committed to them, and we're going to work together over the life of the policy.
Wonderful.
So, yeah.
That's pretty cool. So go through, like you said, you had some success stories. What are you seeing some of the agents doing? Like, how many cases are you getting in so far this year?
Yeah, so
give me an idea.
I have one firm I worked with, and so not to bore with product, but again, our Provider UL product, which is our least expensive UL product. It's a guaranteed to 95. It's almost a term to 95 product, although compliance, well, let me call it term because it's not term. It's guaranteed UL to 95. The rates don't change. I went to a firm in December, end of November, early December, and said, hey, if we've got some advisors that have these term products on the books, let's see if they want to convert to this cheaper UL. And because the process is so quick, because there's no underwriting, they said, well, let's wait till the end of December to put it out there, and then we'll try to give a push in the first part of the year. Well, they went out to their advisors, and in January, those advisors they went to converted over $250,000 in target premium just by using that concept of taking their existing clients, not going out and finding new clients, not trying to add additional coverage to what their current clients had. They just transitioned from term to perm. And there's some talking points in there that we could always go over, as in, again, term insurance, it may not pay, likelihood of it paying is not going to occur. Is your insurability going to become better or worse as you get older? So why would you not want to lock in coverage now? And again, not to take away from those other companies that sell a lot of term insurance, because they do an amazing job, but some of them, when they look at the conversion options, they're just not very attractive. And that's why we include, again, over 40 companies in that program. Some of them do great with conversions, some not so much. So,
that's pretty good, because I have a lot of agents call me and ask me for, hey, this client just bought farmland, or now they're buying something else. They just bought a bigger house. They need to get more insurance. Show me what we can do. I can see that working perfectly. Just the opportunity there for most agents. Guess what? Now your client doesn't have to do another exam. This is just bouncing over in that 5-year time frame. I mean, that's a perfect opportunity.
Exactly.
I'm going to open this conversation up to more agents and see if there's any questions that they have. So give me a second, but go ahead and keep talking. I'm going to see if there's any questions out there from anybody in the
Sure.
I was just unmuted. So any questions anyone has, just go ahead and start talking. You're doing a good job. No questions.
Quiet group. Okay.
Quiet group.
No, I was just going to say, in one of the real-life examples we had on this one, just to drill it down even more, they had a case where they looked at the term insurance, and unfortunately the individual had bought a 20-year term with another carrier, and they had a health issue, and it was a very significant health issue, and we know that, but program stipulation, we're going to take them. And so they converted $1 million of 20-year term. They had just under 4 years. and they converted that to one of our permanent products, which
Nice.
unfortunately their life expectancy, may not require 100, guarantee to 100, but it requires to go over 20 years. So obviously, I mean, we don't do this for charity. I mean, it's business that we do at MetLife, but for me personally, when I see something like that, that adds true value, because this person, in all likelihood, they're going to outlive their term duration, but they're not going to be insurable after that. And this particular carrier did not have the right conversion options for them.
Wow. And that happens so many times. You can get a really cheap term with some carriers, and you find out it's like when you go back to get the conversion, they have nothing to go to, or the conversion is so expensive they can't afford it. So a lot of times the clients just take a smaller policy, drop it down to what they can afford, and they don't get the insurance that they really planned on what they wanted to purchase it for and buy it for. So that's really nice information.
And even we've had some folks on this who maybe don't want to do a full conversion. They have $1 million and say, well, I can't afford $1 million of universal life insurance, for example, or whole life insurance. Okay, well, maybe you convert $250,000 of it. And they've gone that route. As long as they can convince the previous carrier to lower the face amount, which carriers typically don't have a problem doing. So we've had some success there too.
Wow. So I don't have any of this information, but is that something that you can email me today, and I can get it over to everybody that's on the call?
Absolutely.
So
In fact,
can see
I will.
The list of the carriers.
Yep. Yeah, I will email the highlight sheet to you, which goes with the program parameters. The only caveat I would put on there to understand is they need to be specifically listed on that sheet, meaning just because they're under another company, for example, Protective Life is on there, and in their family of companies, they have Chase, Empire General, Federal Kemper, and Zurich. Those carriers are included in that program because they're specifically listed. If a company is not on there, then we cannot use them, and to be blunt, we cannot get around an exception, and that kind of goes back to what our company has viewed their underwriting practices to be, that maybe they were giving some business away, whereas all the carriers on here, we think they do great underwriting, they're solid, and so we have no problem taking their standard to standard or their preferred to our preferred.
Wonderful.
So, yeah, I'll email that to you right now.
Okay, that'd be great. That way I can share it with everybody that's on the webinar today. Does anyone else have any other questions that they would like to discuss today about this? Any information, any input?
Anything about MetLife in general.
There you go. One thing, while I have you here, while no one's asking any questions, no one's typing me anything either yet. So while I have you on here, can you please, because I know we're just talking about anything under $1 million, no exam. I do like your whole life plan that you guys just came out with the no exam up to $1 million.
Yes.
Can you give us a 60-second spiel on that?
Absolutely. Thank you. So, we're big in the whole life game. We have 5 products, cover pretty much every base out there. We're one of the largest life insurance companies out there in terms of whole life. So what we did was we came up with one of our products is our 10-pay product. It's simple. It's pretty simple, straightforward. You pay 10 years and you're done, guaranteed, regardless of your age. We took that program another step further and said, because of mortality in our own internal studies with our block of business, anyone who applies for that policy using our 2-page app, which is an express, or what's called our express order ticket program. Kathy, I'll get those to you as well. But anyone who uses that 2-page app, again, they fall within the program parameters, which are ages 18 to 60, so no kids and no one over 60, and $1 million or less. If they apply for that program and they fill out that 2-page app, we're going to set up a call within 24 to 48 hours to do a phone underwriting interview with them. There's no blood, there's no urine, there's no paramed whatsoever. And if they qualify for standard, at least standard or better, we're going to push them all the way to best class. So 18 to 60, 2-page app, phone interview within the next 1 or 2 days, issued, pushed all the way to best class, and the policy is out and deliverable within less than 2 weeks. We kicked that off the first of the year, and the first policy that came in the door, the first 2-page app, that policy was out the door and issued in less than a week. So
Wow.
we're seeing a lot of traction on that. Again, whole life is, one of our big sellers. We sell a lot of it, and this seems to be really taking a lot of traction. So it doesn't work for everyone. Some folks, though, again, they don't want to. They don't want a needle. They don't want to sit down with a pyramid. They want something quick, 2 pages, they're done. And that's not a change in price, and that's the exact same product that we've always had. Now, for some reason, during that interview, the underwriter finds out that this person is going to be substandard, then we'll go back to the firm and say, in order to proceed, you're probably going to want to do a full application. And then at that point, they can decide if they want to continue with the process. So it's not like give us a very, impaired risk case and we'll push in the best class. But realistically, in 70% of our whole life cases are issued at preferred or better anyway. So
nice.
I think we do a really good job on underwriting. So if somebody's 60 years old, standard, we're going to push them all the way to best class on our 10-pay product. So thanks for bringing that up. I forget. We've had a lot of traction on that as well.
That is so nice, especially with the business clients out there right now. We've been working with a lot more agents working on business planning. So I could see that really working really good.
Yeah, because whenever you take a whole life product, they build cash up. It's a participating dividend-paying policy. And because it's 10-pay, we're overfunding it so much that we can push that face amount down and overfund it. And within 10 years, the policy's paid up, again, for the business client. Maybe he's a key man situation. He can, self-employed, small business, he can purchase a policy on himself. Within 10 years, that policy is paid up, the cash. Worst case scenario in 10 years, the cash in the contract, and I mean, assuming 0 dividends are paid ever, which we've always paid them since the Civil War, but assuming 0 are ever paid, they have more cash in the contract than they paid in premiums in 10 years. So worst case scenario, you take your money out and walk away.
Almost like a return of premium, but you can still have a death benefit at the end of that too if you let it sit there for a couple more years.
Exactly.
Great. Hey, you know what? I do have a question. Someone typed this up for me, but Alan, this is your question. Can you issue a perm with living benefits even if the term had none?
A perm with living benefits even if the term had none.
So if the term came over from another carrier that didn't have living benefits, and a lot of term plans don't have the living benefits just yet, but do you have on your GUL plans, do you have any living benefits?
We do not. We have not for the UL. On the whole life, we have what we call our enhanced care rider, which is that's free. There's no charge to that. All you have to do is check on the app that you want it, and not to go into a bunch of product details, but they can access up to 90% of their face amount for benefits if they go into a long-term care facility or they meet 2 of the 6 ADLs. So they can, yes, add that, even though it wasn't on the term policy. But that's only on our whole life products.
Okay. And that could be for at-home health care too, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
That can be. Okay.
Yep, as long as they meet 2 of the 6 ADLs.
Wonderful. And I may have you send me some information on that too, just to make sure that I have the correct updated information.
Yep, I'll send you the flyer on the enhanced care benefit rider. And again, that's a free rider we're adding. As a quick commercial, we're going to come out at the end of the year with some new products. We're going to have more of a long-term care specific type enhanced rider someone can purchase. But and that's for all of our products. But on the whole life side, if I could give a plug, that enhanced care benefit rider is amazing because it's free. And they're going to, it's there, say, hey, if they want it, it's there. If they don't need it, they didn't pay anything for it. They get 90% out.
Right.
Yep, I will send you that.
That works really good. I've seen a lot of times people nowadays with older policies that it's never ever, they don't have anything to help them if they go to the nursing home. They've never planned for it. Okay, got another question here. Get another question for you. If they went for the whole life, is there underwriting?
No. On the term conversion, no. Again, on the external term conversion program, there's no underwriting whatsoever. Now, for the 10-pay whole life for that program, the underwriting is going to be once they fill out that 2-page app, then we're going to go out and we're going to do a database search. We're going to check the MVR, we're going to do a pharmacological, and then on the phone interview, it's about a 30-minute phone interview. They're going to ask, what type of meds are you on, what type of health issues you may have. So there is underwriting on that program, but on the external term conversion program, if they take a term and pull it into one of our whole life products, there's no underwriting.
On that direction. But if they came in from a term to a term and then decide they want to convert that to a whole life, they can do that, correct? And there would be no underwriting on that one again, correct?
That is correct. Yep.
Gotcha. Awesome.
And as far as MetLife term goes, we have a lot of term products and we sell a lot of that. Our conversion policy is if someone wants to convert to any permanent product with MetLife, there's no underwriting and it's fully convertible to any one of our permanent products up to age 65 or 5 years. So if I'm 45 years old and I bought a 20-year term with MetLife, I can convert that 20-year term anytime over the next 20 years to any permanent product MetLife has.
Nice.
So we sell a lot of term based on that assumption they're going to later convert. But to be honest, the bulk of our terms in the past 6 months is coming in on this external term conversion program. And I think it's because folks are starting to realize, okay, I'm getting a little bit older, I've had some health issues, and I need to convert to something. And, the years of waiting for the next great, permanent product that's super cheap to come out just doesn't really apply in the industry anymore.
Right. Okay, wonderful. Any other questions we have out there today? All right. Well, if you do, you can reach Premier at 1-800-365-8208. Just ask for a life marketer. Otherwise, Mike, can they give you a call, too, if they have any questions?
Absolutely. Anytime. My number is 800-457-2672.
Wonderful. Well, thanks a lot, Mike. I appreciate you being out here with us and helping us with our Life Weekly. Everybody, we will have another Life Weekly show next week again, same time, 10 o'clock Central. And thanks, everybody, for taking their time out of their busy schedule. Have a great foggy day. Hope you're in the sun, but we're not. Take care. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.
Thanks, Kathy. Bye.
Yep. Bye.